going to begin this one with a pass.
A bit of a quick hitter here, and what you're hoping for, Mike, is that the defense can't react quickly enough because the ball's coming out so hot. But they knew it was coming, and they end up holding them to just a short game.
Ball on the 28-yard line. Here's second down and 4.
Here we go.
First carry for David Montgomery. And he's going to be taken down on the other side of the 50-yard line. That's good for 27 and a first down.
I think it's clear this is something this offense wants to major in, the ability to run the ball effectively against this defense. And after that big gain, you have to imagine they're going to come back to it and dare them to stop it.
They'll break the huddle. Coming up now for first and 10.
Here we go.
One more time for Montgomery. And he'll try to keep his footing, manages to work it ahead for a couple of yards.
So everything this defense talks about, Mike, is creating negative plays. It's one of the best run defenses in football. Everything is about suffocating you at the line of scrimmage, make you work for everything you get.
From the 42-yard line, here's second and 8.
It's just set. Big 13. Big 13. Stop.
From the shotgun, it's Burrow. This one, deep downfield for Chase. And he will score! Jamar Chase. Touchdown, Cincinnati. His 4th TD grab of the season. McPherson, good on the extra point. And the Bengals will take a 7-0 lead.
McPherson to kick off for Cincinnati.
After the TD, on is McPherson to kick this one away. This will be returned from the 6. And he'll be brought down past the 25. Decent field position to start this drive.
27-yard line.
A first down throw for Jackson. That one caught. It's Jimray DK. That's a nice pickup on a first down throw. It's a gain of 8.
So you come back out here after watching the opposing team score first, and what you want to do is you got to establish a little early rhythm and get the drive started. Get a little positive energy into that huddle, and what hopefully starts out good ends with you being able to get some points of your own.
3rd and 2. Here we go.
Makes it 3rd and 2.
He'll get this out wide. And he's going to be out of bounds just past the marker. The ball was in the proper place for a new set of downs. So, 1st and 10 here now at the 38.
1st and 10 at the 38-yard line.
Yeah.
From the gun, Jackson. Oh, a dangerous throw there is intercepted. Picked off by Ardarius Washington. And his offense is going to be all set up with a short field and a chance to extend their lead.
Well, that's the fast start they talked about all week, Mike. You come out, you take the immediate lead with your opening drive. Your defense goes out there, they force a turnover early. All these plays allow you to just keep stacking momentum early in this ball game. This game is far from over. But anytime you get out to a start like this, it is a lot harder for your opponent to battle back.
They'll run with Montgomery. And he'll be stacked up at the line of scrimmage.
Taken down at the 41. 1-yard gain. Brings up 2nd and 9.
From the 41, here's 2nd and 9.
Here we go.
Working out of the gun, Burrow. I had a defender draped all over him. Incomplete. Good work to body him up and set up a 3rd down.
And 9 yards.
All things considered, it's actually a pretty good pass. I mean, he puts the ball in a place where only his guy can catch it. But I think he hears those footsteps coming from that nearest defender, and he's not able to secure the catch through contact.
Hot. 180. It's hot. 11 empty.
Burrow from out of the gun here on 3rd down. Right side, hauled in by Samuels. And a good short tackle right there. It stops him a good distance short of the marker. It sets up 4th down.
So these are always the most disappointing drives, right? So you get the ball, you're on your opponent's side of the field, and then you go 3 and out. So you take the field, you say, this is a prime opportunity. Come away at least with points, and now they find themselves in a tricky, delicate situation. I'm curious to see what they do here on 4th down.
Got 180. Got.
Burrow throwing on 4th down. And he's going to be hit and taken down. They got him with a big-time rush that leads to a turnover on down.
So the key to this 4th down stop defensively was their ability to flush the quarterback out of the pocket. Anytime you can do that, you shrink the field, you limit the quarterback's options, and in this case, he can't find anyone, and ultimately, he goes down for a huge 4th down stop. Well, they try to get the run game started here early on this drive, Mike, and they're just going to have to do a better job up front. There's really nowhere for this ball carrier to go. You never want to lose yards on 1st down, but that's exactly the case here.
2nd down, Jackson. He's going to take a shot. Sends it down the middle. And the ball out of the reach of the receiver. Ball's incomplete. Teteroa McMillan was the intended receiver. 3rd down coming up.
I'll tell you what, Mike, with this guy's speed, he's not an easy target to overthrow, so that's one of those where they're telling this quarterback, throw it with everything you got. Just lay it out there, and more times than not, he's going to run under it, but in this case, just a little bit too much on it. He winds up overshooting his man.
Moving to his right. Escaping the danger, throwing and completing. And a good job here defensively. They did not let him get away. He's well short of the 1st down marker. Now Jackson on 4th down. And that is not going to work. It is incomplete. They go for it on 4th and wind up turning it over on down.
And that is just a bad time for a mental mistake. You have to secure that ball before you worry about turning upfield. You know it's 4th down. You know where the marker is. You've got to make that catch and keep this drive alive.
And he'll get it back to midfield. That's it. No gain on the play.
And the big man in the middle swallows him up right at the line of scrimmage. And I think the next time this offensive play caller decides to go to the ground game, Mike, I bet you he's going to find a different place along that defensive front to attack.
They'll try again here. 2nd and 10.
Let's get set. Shot.
Burrow on the run to the right. Going for it all. That is high. And he will go all the way. Mike Gesicki. Touchdown, Bengals. That touchdown #1 for him on the year. McPherson, good on the extra point. And the Bengals will extend their 1st quarter lead. It's now 14-0.
Evan McPherson to kick off for Cincinnati.
After the TD, on is McPherson to kick this one away. This fielded at about the 9. And their drive will begin at the 30-yard line.
At their own 30-yard line.
You. Sit up.
On 1st and 10, Jackson. And that will be incomplete. They could not hook up on what will be the final play of this first quarter. Raven football, quarter number 2 begins. They've got it with a 2nd down and 10. Here's Jackson. Try to set up the screen to Mitchell. And he's out of bounds up beyond the 40-yard line. That screen goes for 12. And that's a 1st down.
And the Baltimore 1st down. 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line.
In the shotgun, here's Jackson. Open man is Horn. It's complete. And they're going to work this down inside the 45. That's his 3rd catch of this first half, and good enough for a 1st down.
There's a reason certain guys, Mike, just always seem to be open. It's really because route running is more art than it is science. How do you manipulate the defense to find open spots or win versus man to create separation and earn the trust of your quarterback?
A quick throw on the RPO is complete. And he won't get away. Good open field tackle there to get him down behind the line.
The quick passing game in the NFL, Mike, is so dependent on yards after the catch. You got to generate space with the scheme, and then it's up to the receiver to do the rest. In this case, nice job defensively, because this guy couldn't even get back to the original line of scrimmage.
And he'll be very close to a 1st down. Won't quite have enough, but now a much more advantageous spot.
Let's give some credit to this offensive line. Once they identified the blitz, you could see them communicating with one another to make sure everybody is on the same page, and that's what gave the quarterback enough time and found the open man. I know it's early in this game, but in my mind, that's 4-down territory, and certainly now the coach doesn't have to make that decision. He keeps it on the ground on 3rd and short, gets a fresh set of downs, and now they got to see if they can come away with some points.
Jackson now to throw on 1st down. That is brought in. And he's in. Teteroa McMillan. Touchdown, Baltimore.
You know, Mike, at this level, not all touchdowns are created equal. There's some plays that result in touchdowns, and then there are touchdown strikes. And this one is the latter. I mean, you talk about a confidently thrown ball on the money downfield. It doesn't get a lot better than this, and his receiver is able to take it in for 6.
Makes the score Bengals 14, Ravens 7. Luke to kick off for Baltimore.
Now, after the touchdown, Luke is back out to kick this one away. This returnable from the 4. Get across the 20, mark them at the 22-yard line.
Bengals take over 1st and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
Gun.
On 1st down, Burrow exiting the pocket right. He runs with it, and he's out of bounds after a pickup of 3.
Nothing open here downfield. I think it's a good job just getting to the edge, getting something positive, getting out of bounds.
On one, ready?
From the 25, here's 2nd and 6.
Here we go, here we go.
Now, Burrow. They'll set up the screen to Montgomery. And that's going to be a first down. A pickup of 9.
A gain of 9 yards.
Really nice job there to move the chains early in this drive, but now as they approach midfield, continue to keep your foot on the gas. Don't get conservative. Don't start sitting on the ball. Cross midfield and go. Anytime you find yourself on your opponent's side of the field, you have to be thinking points.
Short pass taken in by the tight end. They'll get about 4 here as he is taken down.
So he gets on the board, first catch of his career. I can promise you he's going to hang on to that ball. Now, it wasn't the flashiest of plays, but just try to get him comfortable and try to settle him into this game.
And he'll be taken down as we tick down to the 2-minute warning. Going to get a stoppage here. We have an injured Bengal on the field. And as the medical staff looks him over, we'll step aside. Third and a yard.
Here we go. Right 80. 11, 11, 11. 11, 11, 11.
Throwing is Burrow. Has his man. It's Samuel. And it looks like he's going to have the first down. The defense was right there, but a gain of 2. Good enough for the first down.
First and 10 at the 46-yard line.
First carry for the man from Memphis, Tony Pollard. And he will slosh his way forward on the wet surface for a gain of a yard.
A gain of 2 brings up 2nd and 8.
Second down and 8.
Here we go. Hey, kid.
To throw is Burrow. The ball deflected at least a couple of times, but it'll fall to the ground. It's incomplete. Mike Gesicki was the intended receiver.
8 yards to go.
And third down coming up.
Gun. Cut. Right 80. 12. Stop.
Burrow to throw.
That's hard.
And he will score. Dontavian Wicks. Touchdown, Cincinnati. They find the end zone through the air. Greg, that is one of the most popular plays because it works so often.
You're right, Mike. We see it all the time. It's a 4 vertical concept. But the key is you've got to stretch the defense and put pressure on the secondary. That's exactly what they were able to do here. They take advantage, and they go deep for 6.
Bengals 21, Ravens 7. Evan McPherson to kick off for Cincinnati.
After the TD, on is McPherson to kick this one away. This one taken at the 7. And he'll be taken down right at the 29-yard line.
First and 10 at their own 29-yard line.
DC, ready? Go. Ready.
Jackson. That one, it's target, but it goes as an incompletion. Looked like he had that one in his grasp, but unable to hold on, and it will be second down.
And that's another brutal drop for an offense that has struggled to catch the ball up to this point. And yes, you can nitpick about ball placement and whatnot, but listen, the reality is at this level, if it hits your hands, you have to find a way to come down.
He's going to air this one out. He's got it! And he'll be out of bounds, but not before he gets inside the 35-yard line. So they come to the line for first down and 10.
First and 10 at the 34-yard line.
Now Jackson. He ties McMillan downfield. It's caught. And they are in great shape. He's taken down inside the 10. Remember, he had the touchdown catch the last time they had the football. Here, he's got a first down. To the air one more time with Jackson. And he'll take it on in. Tim DK. Touchdown, Ravens.
That was a big-time answer by this offense, and they really needed him. In this game, it looked like he was starting to get away, didn't it, Mike? I mean, now it's up to their defense. Can they get a stop of their own so they can get their offense back out there, get the ball back, and try to build off this last drive?
Ravens 14. Tyler Luke to kick off for Baltimore.
Still a little time. Final minute of this first half. We'll see if they can do anything with this kickoff that is coming their way. They're trying to pin him deep. They'll take this from the 3. Across the 20, they'll mark him down before the 25-yard line. That's where the offense will take over.
At their own 24-yard line.
So here's a first and 10 now. They'll start from the 24.
Here we go. Shot.
They will start it on the ground to run that clock. He did not want to go down there. Carrying tacklers, it's a gain of 9. Now the Bengals are going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining until halftime. Second and inches.
Here we go, here we go. 180. 180, shot. Shot.
Working out of the gun, Burrow. Forced out wide. And he'll just bite the bullet and throw this one away. That was a good idea. Didn't force anything there. But now it's going to bring up third down.
They just have to be more creative with their route concepts, Mike. I mean, there's nobody open, nowhere to go with the ball, and quarterback's just forced to throw that one away.
Here's third down and a few inches.
Let's get set. Can. Shot.
From the shotgun, it's Burrow. He's going to let it go deep for Chase. That is knocked away downfield, incomplete. He made sure not to let the receiver get behind him. Third down stop sets up fourth down.
So I don't hate this call, Mike. You think it's third and short, everyone's at or near the line of scrimmage. There's a lot of green grass downfield in the passing game. Traditionally, though, I'm a little more comfortable with this call when you've made the decision that even if it falls incomplete, you're going for it on fourth down. So I don't love third and short bomb punt. I do love third and short. Okay, you fail. I'm going to go for it on fourth down. You know, Mike, there's a lot of coaches out there who believe that an aggressive style of offense is your best chance of winning. Now, this takes it a little bit to the extreme, but I think this is something that we're going to continue to see as this game unfolds.
Hey, Alpha, shot. We changed it. Hey. 13.
A first down throw for Jackson. Headed left, buying time. He'll get rid of it and complete it. 18 yards on the pickup there. Good for a Raven first down.
We've really seen both teams have a lot of success moving the ball throughout this entire first half, and just seems this possession is going to be more of the same as they start this drive.
Now, Jackson, forced to his right. That's going to wind up incomplete. Not much time remaining. Time for one more snap here in this first half.
They got there in a hurry, didn't they, Mike? I mean, luckily for him, he saw that free rusher coming, and at the very least was able to get that ball out to prevent the sack.
He has to drive this through the rain, but he does. The kick is good. And the Ravens will cut the lead down to 4.
By today's kicking standard, Mike, this is clearly a chip shot. I don't know if there was a lot of question that he'd make this one. So nice job making sure you end the half on a high note, coming away with 3.
That one's going to skip into the end zone for a touchback.
At their own 20-yard line.
The drive begins at the 20. Here's 1st and 10.
Gun. Dot.
Here's Burrow. And that is incomplete. One final chance does not work out. Time has expired. The first half has come to an end.
To kick off for Cincinnati.
Pretty interesting first half. We'll see if any strategy changes for the next 30 minutes or more as this second half gets underway. They'll get this up past the 20, and that's where they'll set up shop. Now after that last play, we have an injured Raven. Athletic training staff looking at him, so we'll step aside.
Yeah. Hey, out here. You.
From the gun, Jackson. And they will bring him down on the other side of midfield. That pickup good for 29 yards.
That's good for a Baltimore.
Didn't take them long to get now to their opponent's side of the field. I like the idea of starting this drive with some explosive pass plays. That's going to open everything up, both underneath in the passing game and on the ground. So big play to get this drive off to a fast start.
Now a shot here, deep middle. That is going to be pulled in. He's got it. Terrell McMillan. Touchdown, Baltimore. Second touchdown of the game. Season total now up to 5.
And this special connection between this quarterback and his receivers, it was on full display right there. Great job getting behind the defense, and then what can you say about that ball? I mean, you can't put that ball in a better spot, and with timing and accuracy like that, leads to 6.
Now, after the touchdown, Luke is back out to kick this one away. He'll start at the 2. Good coverage by the kicking team. He's out of bounds, shy of the 20.
Take over 1st and 10 at their own 16-yard line.
drive starts. It's a carry by Pollard. And, oh, they smack him down there. Big hit right at the line. No gain.
Second and 9 at the 17-yard line.
Here's a 2nd and 9. Now, Burrow. Oh, and this one's going to wind up incomplete. That's one you'd think he'd be able to corral. He can't find the handle, and it's going to lead to a 3rd down.
I feel like their quarterback, for the most part, has looked pretty solid. I mean, it's everybody else that seems to have let him down with the drop balls and the mistakes. That's really what's killing these drives.
Burrow from out of the gun here on 3rd down. Trying to fit in the slant, and it was intercepted. Picked off by Roquan Smith.
I think anytime you find yourself trailing in the second half, Mike, all offensive play callers fight the urge to chase those points. They tend to get a little bit overeager. They tend to push the envelope sometimes a little too far. Those turnovers, they only make the deficit grow, not shrink. Now, there's a lot of football left, Mike. They can still get back into this. They just have to be a little bit smarter about which risks you're willing to take.
He'll get this out wide. And he'll take this one in. Jimmy Horn Jr. Touchdown, Ravens. That is yet another touchdown pass. What a game he is having, throwing his 4th touchdown score of the game.
It's one thing, Mike, to throw 4 touchdowns, but it's really the ease in which he's carved this defense up that has stood out the most. The defense has had no answers for this passing game, and he has just completely had his way with this group.
The kick is good. Makes the score Ravens 31, Bengals 21. Tyler Luke to kick off for Baltimore.
Now, after the touchdown, Luke is back out to kick this one away. This is fielded inside the 5. And he'll be brought down just beyond the 25-yard line.
The Bengals take over 1st and 10 at their own 26-yard line.
Off the play fake. Here's Burrow. He'll get this out to his running back. And he's not going to get too far, tackled after a gain of just a yard.
2 yards.
What an advantage it brings a defense when you have cornerbacks that are such willing tacklers. It just brings an extra element to the ability to defend the entire field. And this is a great example here why.
Ball on the 27. Here's 2nd and 8. They go play action for Burrow. A very quick throw there, but not on the same page with his target. That's incomplete.
We see this time and time again in the NFL, Mike. You want to play quarterback at this level, you better figure out a way to be able to bounce back following a bad throw, a bad series, a bad game. And in this case, he's got to bounce back from a pick on the last drive, and he's got to find himself some easy completions and settle himself back into this one.
And that is incomplete. He was trying to get it to Jamar Chase. And that'll set up 4th down.
Missed opportunities like these are a big reason why they find themselves down double digits here in the 3rd quarter, Mike. Points on this possession could have gone a long way towards making this game competitive, but instead, poor execution, especially in the passing game, and it's another wasted drive.
Burrow to throw for it on 4th down. Now he'll work his way out right. That is incomplete. They couldn't get the connection on fourth. Gonna give the ball over on down.
So this offense, they think this is a prime opportunity to go for it through the air on fourth down. But this defense was having none of it. Nowhere for the quarterback to go with the ball, no easy completions, and this defense forces a huge stop on fourth down.
And they'll finally run him down, but he takes it inside the 10-yard line. From 6 yards out, it's first and goal.
And the Baltimore first down. First and goal at the 6-yard line.
Hey, report! 180! Hey, shot!
They'll run with Mitchell. He'll be wrapped up there down at the 3-yard line. Now here's second and goal.
A 4-yard gain brings up second and goal.
Mitchell will take this one into the end zone. It's a Raven touchdown. Greg, they take advantage of the good field position and move it downfield for the score.
When you take the field as an offense, there's a little added confidence boost, Mike, when you see yourself this close to the end zone. You get into the huddle, you're anxious to see what the next couple plays are. They're able to take advantage and end up punching it in.
On is Loop to add the extra point. His kick is good, and the Ravens will extend this third quarter lead.
Ravens 38, Bengals 21. Loop to kick off for Baltimore.
Now, after the touchdown, Loop is back out to kick this one away. A return now from the 4. And he is stopped at the 25. The drive will begin there.
At their own 25-yard line.
They'll give it to Pollard to start this drive. He'll try to keep his footing, manages to work it ahead for a couple of yards.
He was brought down at the 28-yard line. A 3-yard pickup brings up second and 7.
Second down, they need 7. Burrow. Oh, and this one's going to wind up incomplete. That's one you'd think he'd be able to corral. He can't find the handle, and it's going to lead to a third down.
The whole idea of that short pass is designed to get the ball into the hands of the receiver in space and let him do the rest after the catch. But the key word there, Mike, is get the ball into the hands of the receiver. He doesn't secure the catch, so there is no run after.
Burrow now. And Marlon Humphrey is there, and he picks it off. And his offense is going to be all set up with a short field and a chance to extend their lead.
Well, with this guy might lose a little bit, Mike, as he gets long in the tooth. He certainly makes up for it in experience. You're not going to be able to do a lot of things to trick him on the back end. He reads this play right from the jump, makes a great break on the ball, and if that ball hits his hands more times than not, it's going to be a takeaway.
On first down, right back to Mitchell. And not much there. Good defense, held to no gain.
So there's multiple factors, Mike, that make blitzes successful. So, of course, there's the initial design. Can you attack the vulnerabilities of the offense's blocking scheme? And then in this case, the next phase is the timing. You can see this linebacker knew exactly when that ball was going to be snapped. The offensive line had no chance to identify and pick him up, and he's able to bring him down for a loss.
That is caught out wide on the RPO. And he's in! Jim DK. Touchdown, Baltimore. 2 touchdowns for him now in the afternoon. Luke now for the extra point. He's got it. And the Ravens are going to extend their lead.
Makes the score Ravens 45, Bengals 21. Tyler Luke to kick off for Baltimore.
Now, after the touchdown, Luke is back out to kick this one away. This is going to be taken in at the 3. He'll get this past the 20 before he's brought down shy of the 25-yard line.
At their own 24-yard line.
He'll try the left side with Pollard. And he will slosh his way forward on the wet surface for a gain of a yard.
1-yard gain brings up 2nd and 9.
Here's 2nd and 9. They'll run once more, and it's Pollard again. And he'll be brought down up past the 35-yard line. Pickup of 11 yards on that one. And the Bengals going to have a first down.
This is a guy who's been doing it at a high level, Mike, for a long time. Not too many running backs finding success in the NFL past the age of 30. That's usually when they kind of ride off into the sunset. But as always, there's the exception to every rule.
So, from the 36, it is 1st and 10. Out of the gun, they give it to Pollard. And they get this one across midfield to the 47-yard line. Give them 17 more, and they are on a roll. Another first down.
It's a gain of 17.
Nice job by them getting the back to the perimeter. Then he's able to get outside, stick his foot in the ground, and then get vertical. Right down the numbers. Those are the type of runs this offense wants to see more of going forward.
From the gun, they'll give it. It's Pollard. And this time they are ready for him. Thrown for a loss. And it's 2nd down. So we are through 3. Back with more after the break. You're tuned in to the NFL on EA Sports. Lost one on the last play, so now it's 2nd and 11. Back to throw, Burrow. That caught Tony Pollard. They'll get maybe 3 out of that one, and it's going to set up 3rd down.
Defensive coordinators preach all the time, play pass defense with vision. It's exactly the case here. They're able to rally to the ball, keep that to a short gain.
What can they do here on 3rd down and 7? To throw is Burrow, and that is incomplete.
Great pass rushers live for 3rd down, especially when they know the offense has to be one-dimensional. And this is a great example here, Mike. They can just pin their ears back and go. They know there is no threat for run. It is a must-pass situation, and for this offense, they're lucky it didn't result in a sack.
The offense not coming off the field, and here's fourth down. Now, Burrow. This one incomplete. The defense up to the challenge there. They force the incompletion, and they'll take the ball over on down.
You find yourself down big. It's the fourth quarter. There's really no choice but to go for this at this point. But once again, this defense, they're up to the task, and they come through yet again with a huge stop.
The drive will begin with a run by Mitchell.
So they're not going to get the yardage to reflect it, but I actually thought that was a pretty nice job by the running back, at least getting back to the original line of scrimmage. This offensive line, they've got to do a better job getting him through untouched. His yards before contact got to be better.
2nd and 10. A quick throw on the RPO is complete. And he can't get away. They rally to the football defensively. Bring him down for no gain.
Similar to a tight end, the slot receiver is often considered the safety blanket. He makes all the difficult catches, tends to be a little bit more around the line of scrimmage, and so far today, he's certainly lived up to that reputation.
They come to the line needing 11 here on 3rd down. Back to throw, Jackson. Trying to set up the screen to Mitchell. And that one's just too long to get going. They'll come up, stop him before the lineman could get out to lead the way. On 4th down, Daniel Wheeler is on to punt.
In punt formation.
And this will go down as a punt inside the 20 as it continues out of bounds.
Their own 15-yard line.
On the handoff, Pollard. And a good tackle out wide will hold them to a gain of just 3.
Jalen Petrie on the stop. 4 yards on the pickup. 2nd and 6 at the 19-yard line.
Here's 2nd and 6. One of the tight ends in motion right. They will not get this one off. It'll be a delay of game. Now 2nd down throw for Burrow. He'll look for Pollard out of the backfield. And that'll go for a gain of 7. And it's going to set up 3rd down.
That's a gain of 8.
There's a lot of ways to get the ball in the hands of your running backs, and it's not always by just handing it to them. In this case, it's a simple check down, picks up a good gain, brings up 3rd down.
Here's a 3rd down and 4. Throwing is Burrow. Rolling right. And the defense can't come up with a stop there. Gain of 7 and a 1st down.
7-yard gain.
I'd like to see them do a better job here the rest of the game, Mike, just disguising the coverage from the pre-snap look to the post-snap look. And what I mean is, when you have a quarterback at this level and what they see before the ball's in their hands is the exact same thing they see once they do get the ball, everything is just so much easier for them to process. Change the look, change the coverages, move your safeties. Make the quarterback have to process with the ball in his hand. And as of right now, they find themselves trailing at the moment, but it's certainly not because of the ground game. I mean, he's averaging over 4 yards per carry. Just hasn't been enough to overcome some of their shortcomings elsewhere.
From the 34-yard line, here's 2nd and 5. Gesicki, the man in motion. Again, it's Pollard. And not much there. He's back to the original line. No gain on that one.
He sniffed that one out from the jump. I mean, once he diagnosed and knew where the ball was going, he got there in a hurry, and he put an end to that play really before it ever got started.
So, 2 minutes to play here in the second half. Greg and I back for the conclusion in a moment. Here comes 3rd and 6. To throw is Burrow. That is incomplete. Here we go. They're down to what could be their final play. It's 4th down.
This is one of those situations that plays directly into the hands of the defense because think, Mike, they know this offense has to be one-dimensional. This has to be a pass. So what do? They bring in extra defensive backs. They clog up the back end. And at the end of the day, there's just nowhere for the offense to go with the ball.
Now or never, they'll throw on 4th down. This one, deep downfield for Chase. That's incomplete. Daring call on 4th down. Does not work out. And it results in a turnover on down.
Let go.
On 1st and 10, Jackson. Oh, he's going to be bottled up and taken down. They got him. Kalijah Cansey getting in there for the sack. Number 3 on the year for him.
The defensive coaches, they preached all week, Mike. They have to have relentless pursuit of this quarterback when he tries to extend the play. So often it results in a great play for the offense and a big pickup. This time, because of that pursuit, it leads to a big loss.
A give to Mitchell. Well, they'll get some of the sack yardage back, but it's still going to leave them with 3rd down.
So when you're evaluating the impact of a team's run game, Mike, I think it's important at the end of the game to look back and say, okay, how many yards did they run for? But more importantly, when did those yards come? Did I run for those yards in the 4th quarter, which typically means I had the lead? That's the sign of a successful run game, as opposed to getting a lot of meaningless yards early in the game.
On 3rd down, Jackson. And he's going to have the 1st down. And that will not officially end it, but for all intents and purposes, they're going to be able to run the clock down from here.
3rd downs, Mike, those are quarterback downs. Those are the downs where you tend to find yourself in a must-pass situation, and that's where the top guys in the league are still capable of overcoming it. So throw the ball downfield, be accurate with the ball. Winning on 3rd downs, that is a recipe for success.
And he is crushed in the backfield. Defenders firing through. Shut it down right away for a loss of yardage.
These are the impact plays that this linebacker is capable of, Mike. Not only dissecting and determining where the ball was going, but then to shoot through the line of scrimmage and make this tackle for a loss. That's a big-time play by a really good player.
So it's a win here for the Ravens. They get the home victory here in the division in the first of their 2 scheduled matchups. Have a chance to go for the season sweep on the road later in the season. So that'll do it for us. For Greg Olson and our terrific team behind the scenes, I'm Mike Tirico. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. Follow us on X at EA Madden NFL. So long, everybody.